So I thought today I would chat to you guys because it's been a while since I've done that, and there are a few burning questions that I keep getting asked over and over again. And the first one is related to traveling here. So in other words, it's a travel update. In mid-March, we saw the removal of the PCR test prior to travel. So let me recap that quickly. You no longer need a PCR test prior to arriving on the island. You will only need a test when you actually arrive at the airport, and that will either be done at the airport or in a hotel. And you may or may not be charged for that in your hotel, so you have to check that out. At the airport, it is free of charge. The other thing is, it's a lot easier now to travel here if you're unvaccinated, because you can stay anywhere you like on the island. You just have to self-isolate for 7 days. So it just makes it so much easier. If you're under 18, so if you have kids, they also do not need to be vaccinated. So fast forward to beginning of April, and we were so confident that there were going to be some great new travel updates, lots of changes regarding COVID restrictions and protocols. Unfortunately, that has not happened. Basically, you will still have to wear a mask if you're out and about. So if you go to a market or a supermarket, a shopping mall, you will have to wear a mask also when you're out and about in the street. If you go to a place of worship or a sort of community hall, something like that, you can now have 50 people there instead of 10. The other change is that if you have a kid, a young kid, outdoor parks are now open. So I guess that could be quite a big change. If you are a parent, you'll be relieved to know that you can now go to a park. Gyms remain open, maximum of 50 people. Restaurants and takeaway joints are still open as well, so that's obviously very good for the island, for tourism. Picnics on the beach, sadly, are still not allowed. But having said that, if you do go to the beach and you go and you get a takeaway from one of the vans or the food trucks or the camions, you can sit there. They usually have set up some tables and chairs, so you can eat there. You just can't take your food down to the beach. If you're coming here for a wedding, you can now have up to 50 guests, and the same applies for a funeral. Bars, discos remain closed. We do hope that those will open very soon. I will put this little list up on screen so you can have a look, but as you can see, unfortunately, not much really changed. So roll on June, and let's hope in June we can start to see some real changes here. With regards to vaccines, the vaccines which are approved here in Mauritius, I'm going to put them on the screen for you now so you can see. And basically, to be fully vaccinated, you must either have had 1 dose or 2 doses within the last 14 days. And to be honest, I did speak a while back about the digital health pass. That really hasn't come to play. And in fact, I think I've only been asked 3 times for my vaccine card. So if you are unvaccinated, you can come here and you can still have a great time. And if you have a foreign vaccine card, just make sure that if you decide to go to a restaurant where they're going to ask you for your vaccination card, just make sure that you have a printout of it or you have it on your phone. A great resource if you want to ask a question or if you really want to find out what's going on here is Mauritius in Quarantine. That's a Facebook group. I'm going to leave a link for you in the description below, and you can just check that out. But one of the questions that I see get asked all the time, over and over again, is about the booster shot, and it seems to be a lot of people are confused by it. Basically, in summary, if you live on the island, you need to have a booster shot in order to, go to the school, go to the supermarket, do all those sorts of things. So in other words, you have to have your 2 vaccines and a booster shot, so that's 3 doses. However, if you are a tourist and you're visiting here, you do not need a booster. Okay, so no boosters required if you're a tourist, but you do need a booster if you are a resident and you're living here. The other thing that I would really like to address is the weather, because I've got lots of people messaging me saying, Lucy, I've checked the weather. It looks like it's going to rain for the next 3 weeks. Should I postpone or cancel my trip? All I can say to you is that, of course, now with global warming, the weather is extremely unpredictable and you simply don't know what you're going to get from day to day. But that said, Mauritius is a tiny island and it does have all these little microclimates. So it might be raining up north, but down south it is perfectly sunny and beautiful. So all I can say to you is don't rely too heavily on the weather predictions, because if you're looking at something that's 3 weeks in advance, it's not going to be very accurate. And you're more than likely, if you're coming here for 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, you are certainly going to get some rainy days, and you're certainly going to get some good days too. So yeah, I think don't rely on weather reports. Come to Mauritius and you will see that you will have great weather. So that for you is my little chat. Hopefully I have cleared up a few questions that you may have had. If you do have other queries, you can of course get hold of me on Facebook via Messenger, or you can comment down below, or you can find me on Instagram, or even via email. And I love your support, so please, if you find this content is of any use, you can buy me a coffee, you can like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. Anyway, that's it from me, and I will check ya on the next one. See ya.